out of Bisek, and roughly 14 weeks ago, July 14th, I tore my pec on this bench right here. For me, the timeline that I was told initially was roughly 3 months to even be doing physical therapy, or to even be moving my arm, 6 weeks to be in a sling, and that I wouldn't be back to my normal self for roughly a year. So it was a pretty devastating injury to me, being that I'm a personal trainer, a bodybuilder. 4 weeks post-surgery, I was out of the sling at that point, and then the next Monday we started, and just the amount of confidence that you have when everybody else, from my surgeon to people who've gone through it before, is so negative in the sense that they're saying, don't hurt yourself, don't ruin this. And he's one of the only confident people with it, so I trust him so much. But that was huge. I mean, there was never a waiver in how much you trusted in the process and how confident you were in it. It was just like, this is gonna happen. This is gonna work. We went through the first phase, and it's the hardest one essentially with an injury like this, I can imagine, because you're trying to find range of motion. And basically, with me, what was interesting is that even though I tore my pec, and I mean, you started off with the RX machine and put it right where my surgery was, like right where I had the surgery. And for that, I'm like, you're gonna put it on like right on it, and it didn't do anything. And he literally came to a point of compensation in my body to pretty much the reason why I hurt myself, which was actually my tricep and a little bit, I believe, around my scapula, my rhomboid area, tricep, and inside of my elbow here. And the moment he put that on my arm, I completely seized up. And it's kind of, you think, well, why would he put it right on my chest? Why wouldn't that cause a reaction when you hit that? So it's very interesting and kind of not necessarily counterintuitive, but to see how this works, and it helps you trust in the process. I started connecting some dots as to why I had tendonitis and why my elbow flared when I pressed and I hurt myself. So from that standpoint, it kind of made me more of a believer as well. I could only move my arm to about shoulder height or just below, and by the time that we did the first session, I was up, another 30-40 degrees. It was pretty amazing, seeing as the typical timeline for something like this is 5 degrees of range of motion per week. We did 30 in a day. By the end of that week, I think we were 3 sessions in, I already could reach all the way up. It wasn't even a problem. So from that standpoint, we were already months ahead. If you want it bad enough, you can also voluntarily not take as much pain. That's the thing with this. You can take as much pain as you want. It's just based upon the results that you want. So the more you can take, the further you go. And that's with anything. The more you put into it, I was willing to put into as much as I could into anything to make myself better. So I was willing to take it. Obviously, it's well worth it because, even yesterday was my 3-month post-operative appointment when they were supposed to clear me for exercise. I was doing push-ups by the time I went for my second post-op when they wanted me to take my sling off. So, that's all to say that this therapy is extremely progressive, extremely accelerated. We did measurements the 3rd session, and by the end, we did some landmark measurements in the middle, but by the end, 3 to 20, which mind you was 3.5 weeks maybe, I had grown almost I think it was 1.5 inches, between 1.5 and 2 inches back on this arm. I know for sure it was 1.5 inches. And almost 4 inches on my chest. That type of growth was miraculous. And for me, it's like I said, it's been such a psychological battle this whole time. To have that back was to have some of my identity back. Because what I identified is this realm. This is what I do for a hobby. This is what I do for a passion of love. This is what I do for work. So people look to me as someone with high integrity that does this. And for me, I was losing part of myself. So in many ways, the therapy has brought a lot of me back too.